Hi folks, welcome back to another episode of Baking Geek. And I've had a request today. Somebody said, why don't you do something that we can all do at home that doesn't take as much skill? So that's what I'm doing today. I'm doing blueberry muffins, crowd favourite. Okay, so I'm going to make it really simple. Okay, this is a bit of I've got more than three ingredients, but I'm going to simplify it into three. And you're just going to use a steel bowl to bring this all together with your hands. That's it. And we're only going to mix it just combine it, and then we're going to drop it straight into the muffin trays, and it's going to be gorgeous. Okay. Okay. First thing in the bowl goes the sugar. Now I've pre-weighed the flour and the baking powder. I've got 500 grams of baking powder here with 500 grams of flour with 35 grams of baking powder. That goes in. Now you want to combine your sugar and your flour together so that you're not going to develop your gluten as much. Basically, the flour is going to sort of suck up all that sugar, and the sugar is going to stop the gluten from developing while you're mixing it, basically. Now the liquid content I've got some milk, some oil. Now you could easily replace the oil with butter if you prefer more of a flavour, but my other half, she's lactose intolerant, so she can't have that. So I'm using lactose-free milk and I'm using oil instead of butter. Okay, so easily you can replace some ingredients. Okay, all right, so you can now feel that the flour now is full of sugar. You can feel the granulated sugar. I'm just going to get the blueberries out of the freezer. Right, so we've got our tray already lined, we've got our oven preheated. So what we're going to do, we've just stirred that through. That feels good to me. Let's go with the liquid. And I've used eggs in this as well, only 2 eggs. And as I've stated in previous videos, when you add eggs towards the end of a mix, you'll actually get volume in the oven, just by the eggs alone. Okay, so we're just mixing this up with our fingers. Try not to make too much of a mess. Okay, there we go. It's almost ready. There we go. And we're done. That's honestly how quick it takes to make this mix. Now what I'm going to do, while I've got dirty hands, I'm going to try and open this with one hand. And that's not going to work, is it? Anyway. Okay, we're back and we finally got the packet of blueberries open. Alright, so how much blueberries do you throw in? Doesn't matter, you know. Let's just go nuts with it, you know, because I like a lot of blueberries with my muffins. There we go, a couple of good handfuls, maybe another one. There we go. And just mix them through. Mix them through so everyone gets a blueberry. There we go. And you've got like a nice streaky looking thing happening there. Bit of colour coming through from the blueberries. There we go. The mix is done, literally. That's it. That's how long it takes. Less than 30 seconds. Right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you a method that I learned as a young apprentice. Now, when you have big batches of batter, you do what's called dropping, and this is like I said, I learned this when I was a young guy. So you pick up a big handful like that, just in your hand like that. You can curve it off like that, but basically you're going to bring your fingers together like that, and that is going to be your muffin, right like that. So we're going to drop it in like that with our hands, using our hands. And you don't want to overfill these because there is quite a decent whack of baking powder in these, folks. So you want them probably 2/3 of the way up the paper. You want to leave some room for movement because there will be some movement. We're working our way through this mix. There we go. Almost done. A little bit more on that one. There we go. Done. Oh, it's quite thick actually. There we go. Okay, now hopefully I've done a little bit of a clean up in the meantime. So you've dropped them into your cups, and last thing we're going to do before we chuck them in the oven, I've got some sugar here, and I'll mix a bit of cinnamon with it, so cinnamon sugar, and we're just going to plop a bit on the top, and that's going to create a really nice crust on the top of these muffins, and everyone's going to love it. Anyway, there we go. Just plop it on like that. Don't be too fussy about it. Just give it a good amount, because when this bakes off, the muffin will spread, and hopefully this stuff will spread across the top of it as well. Yeah, there we go. Bit of a pro tip. Just to finish them off so they look really nice. They've got that mouthfeel as well. Okay, so that's our blueberry muffins, and we're going to pop them in an oven. I'm going to say about 160 for about 15 to 20 minutes. You know, you can check them after 15. You want them when your oven's too hot, your muffins will turn out like that. And it's the same with cakes. If your oven's too hot, the product will tell you. If it's too low, they'll end up like this. What you want is a nice round top like that. Okay, so that's how you tell if your oven's too hot or too cold. Okay, folks, we're going to pop these in the oven. I'll be back when they're out. Okay, see ya. Okay, folks, we're back, and it's been about 20 minutes for the large muffins. I did some small ones, they were about 15. So let's have a check on the oven now. Okay, let's have a look at that. Have a look at that beautiful tray of blueberry muffins. Okay, here, all right. And it looks like I've got the temperature just right because they're nicely rounded on top. Okay. That's gorgeous. Yeah, share that recipe with your family and friends. Well, this is one you can just do with the kids in the kitchen. It's a fun recipe. It takes nothing to knock it out, and you make lots of muffins. Okay? Press the like button, share it with your friends, folks. See you next time.